We've got a little bit of time remaining, so I want to do a couple more problems. Folks, all these problems on here are fair game problems. I'm going to jump down. I want to talk about this. These were the section 2.4 problems. Notice I'm still using 3 in them. Okay. This answer, this is all I need you to write. Now please, folks, I dislike it if a student writes this. It's not wrong, it's nothing, but I dislike it if a student goes ahead and just writes, okay? Because I'm trying to get you to speak in complete math sentences, and all you did was like give the last part of a sentence, right? Okay? So I would prefer you to write this whole thing. The limit as x approaches 3 from the right of 1 over 3 minus x equals minus infinity, and I dislike it if you just put that up there. How are we doing with this? Good. Now, that's all you have to write for this problem. Okay? But let's describe it a little bit. What I do think would be a good thing to do for this problem is to label it as having the not the indeterminate form, the form, what? What's that?
1 over 0.
This has the form 1 over 0. And then specifically, we say that the answer is minus infinity. How come? Because the numerator was approaching 1 over a small what sign number, folks?
Negative.
Small negative number. What's 1 over a small negative number?
Negative.
It becomes arbitrarily large. So we call that negative, arbitrarily large and negative, so we call that negative infinity. Folks, can you just go off the sign right here as far as coming up with your answer? No. Does the sign right here matter? Yes, but that's not enough. It's how this interacts with this. So if we look at this one, we've got the limit as x approaches 3 from the left of 1 over 3 minus x. What is that, folks?
Infinity, positive infinity.
Positive infinity. Is everyone okay with that? I have no extra explanation to give, but I can go through it again if you'd like. Okay. So this limit does not exist. Okay. Now, if I only asked you part C, what do you need to do? You'd have to show the left-hand limit and the right-hand limit, show that they're not equal, and then you can conclude that the limit doesn't exist. But because you've already done that in part A and part B, I'm not going to make you repeat your work. Does everyone understand what I just said? Should I say it again?
Yes.
Yes. If I gave you a test question and I just asked this, you would need to show the limit from the right is negative infinity. You would need to show the limit from the left is positive infinity, and then you could conclude that the limit doesn't exist. I'm not going to make you write all this work again in this sequence of 3 problems because it would be repeating some of it. But if it was a standalone question, you have to show the left and the right-hand limit disagree. How about this one here, folks? Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm using my hands.
Oh, that's okay.
I got positive infinity.
I get positive infinity as well.
Because that's squared.
How come?
Because that's squared.
Because the numerator is approaching 1, and it's all over a small what? What's the sign? Now, when I do 3 from the right, if I do 3 minus 3 from the right, that's a small negative number, but then what do I do to it?
Square it.
Square it. When you square something that's negative, it becomes
Positive.
positive. So this is over a small positive number. Notice that when we didn't have the square, we got minus infinity. Can you just make general assumptions? I discourage you from making general assumptions about these problems. Work each one as its own. Okay? The other thing is I forgot to do this. On all of these have had the form 1 over 0. They have not had the indeterminate form 0 over 0. That's why there's no work required in doing these problems. These are the section 2.4 problems. Likewise, let me just point out that this limit is equal to infinity. Why can I conclude that for this one?
Because both limits,
If I approach this from the right, I get infinity. We just showed that. And if I approach it from the left, I get infinity. Okay? So you would have to, that's letter F. To get there, you'd have to do E as well. And I skipped over E. All right. That's all. That's